All right. So you are interested in learning how to use LibreOffice, which is free software to make your Roundance cue sheets. It's an awesome piece of software, especially considering it's free. It's really reliable. It doesn't have AI coming in at you trying to change your stuff. Yeah, so this is how I make my cue sheets. I'm just going to show you a completed cue sheet so you'll know what we're aiming for. So you can tell the title is Waterloo. The artist is ABBA. I like to put in the year it was done. I like to put in the choreographer and a little bit of detail about my connection to it if I have one. Really important to put in the rhythm, the phase, any notes in here about directions I would be giving people if that, there were some. Put in the length and the speed, and often I will change the speed once I take my file out into SquareView, but for now I'm going to leave it as 100% there. Often when you're grabbing a cue sheet, the choreographer tells you what the recommended speed is. Okay, so the first section, actually I know it's 2 measures, so I don't need to. So I've got this first section in blue. This is the first segment of this song. And then probably the chorus comes here in this nice raspberry color. I do these colors so that when I either get distracted or purposefully look up, that I can find my place again. And also if I'm really nervous, I don't see and focus as well. And especially when you're starting out, you will be nervous. So it's really good to just do everything you can to make it easier for you to recover or not fall off in the first place. So you can see I like to use 4 different colors. I've got a blue, a raspberry, orange, and this green, and I just repeat them until the song is over. So this is the finished product I will be putting into SquareView. So that's what we're aiming for. It looks tidy. It's not too wide on your screen. I tend to put 4 measures, the equivalent of 2 forward, 2 steps twice across. And of course you can apply this to other rhythms, but just generally 4 measures, which is 4 semicolons in our round dance world, works really well on the square dance or in that square dance program so that you don't get it cut off or anything too overwhelming. All right, so you have a cue sheet that you found on Roundalab, and you would like it to be in your square dance computer with your SquareView. So this file is a PDF. You can see that up in my browser here. PDFs are really great for printing. You can actually, if you want to, just print this out and read it off, if that works for you. But if you want to use the cool scrolling feature of SquareView, you're going to have to make an HTML file. All right, so this is a piece by a really great choreographer, Chuck and Sandy Weiss, and they're unfortunately not with us any longer. But their choreography is really solid and good, and I trust it. So I know that this will be an easy one to write up, that they're not going to have a bunch of things that I'll need to revise. So I am going to make the maestro into an HTML file. Okay, so let's get back to LibreOffice. I'm just going to close my Waterloo file, the finished product. I do want to save changes because I took the question marks out. And file, I'm going to go to my Start Center up here. And okay, now up to the menu again, File, New, and there's so many kinds: text, spreadsheet, presentation, lots of different capabilities, but we want to make an HTML document. That's an internet programming language. I think it's a hypertext markup language is what it stands for, but I may be incorrect on that. All right, so if I just start typing, that is not the right font for me. It might be a little small, if it's just, I need to make this a little more legible. So I've written the Maestro for my title, and I'm going to change my font name to Comic Sans. And 12 point's a little small. I'm going to pick 20. 20 tends to work quite well for all of the computers that I've had, which is, I'm on my third Square Dance computer. And I'm also bolding it. So Comic Sans, 20-point font, bold. Now I'm going to just keep typing by Caro Emerald. I'm just going, I'm using some hotkeys to move back and forth quickly. And I don't know what year that's from. I'll have to add that in later. I like to add the year. So my two-step rhythm is two-step, and it's a phase 2+2. Okay. So this is just my preferred format. Title, artist. I will put a little thing for the year. That's just a vague guess. So you're going to figure out what formatting works best for you. Phase 2+2. Yep, pretty typical two-step leveling. Sterling Vine and Fishtail being in phase 3. Those are the most commonly used phase 3 two-step moves. Okay, so I've got that sort of information about that there. The next thing I want to do is put the time. Okay. Oh, this is actually really good information. So 45 RPM is played at 100% speed. Okay. So I'm just going to copy that. So I like to do time. Normally we'd put like 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but in this case, I'm going to put that information in. So fading in SquareView is using the Y key. So then you don't have to do surgery on your pieces of music. And I'm going to put speed 100%, 45 RPM being 100% at record speed. So that's an interesting thing to note if you haven't ever thought about that, or perhaps you are less vintage than others in our activity. Okay, so I want to know the sequence. I'm going to copy paste that. And now I'm just going to write this in. So you'll notice that Chuck and Sandy, they've written the introduction. These are the moves here. And then it tells you which measures. So 1 to 4 are this, 5 to 8 are this. And then they've got the footwork underneath these bold head cues. So I am going to copy the head cues, Command C or Control C, depending if you're on a Mac or not. Okay, so this is intro, and then I'm going to do that. So 1 measure, 2 measures, 3. Oh, 1 mistake already. Wait, 2 measures. I need to put in a second semicolon. So 1 measure, 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures. That's my line. And I'm going to go back and grab traveling box. That's a good thing to notice too, is like, oh, like, traveling box is 4 measures. Let's make sure that I copy pasted all 4 and not 3, because that would mess up my cueing and my timing step. That's all things that come with experience. All right, so part A, I'm going on to that. So I'm just going to copy Strolling Vine. Uh-oh. So that happens sometimes when I'm using a lot of things. So if I made it really big and that's too big, I'm going up to view and coming down to 100%. And now that looks a lot more friendly. I do that quite a bit, just mucking with my keys on my keyboard. All right, oops. Okay, and this cue sheet is a really nice cue sheet. It's copy pasting well. Um, if you've got old ones, you're gonna have to type all of the things in. And this is a really quick one too, because I quite like the way Chuck has put in his cues. I don't feel the need to change the wording or update it because it's from 1972 and we don't say it the same way anymore. All right, so I've got A, and then I know we're going to B, so I will write up B. Oops. Highlight, 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 just being careful. Okay, traveling scissors. So if you know that your dancers have been dancing a long time and you're not feeling interested in teaching them that traveling scissors is scissors sidecar, walk out to, scissors banjo, walk into, you might write that in differently than this. Okay, fishtail, walk and face box. And it's always, always a good idea to make sure that you look through and have all the positions in that you want. I'm not going to do that with you right now because I just want to show you more the formatting side of this. So I missed one of the semicolons on start 4, just added it in. I'm only going to copy paste one more section before I show you some of my formatting things. Okay, so I need to find the bridge. Okay, oh, the bridge is nice and little. Some people call it an interlude, some people call it a bridge. Call it whatever you want as long as you tell people how to use your things. Okay, great. So I've got the intro, AB, I've got the bridge. Now I'm going to put AB again, and I can copy it. I don't do my colors until the end because I will show you why. Okay, bridge AB. And now I just need C and the end, and I've got all the stuff in here. So this is a really quickie cue sheet. Sometimes these take forever. All slow steps. Interesting. I know this is a little bit different dance. It's called 5 count. And I had the pleasure of dancing this in 2018 when I went to collar school down in Cleveland, Washington, and Chuck and Sandy were there teaching us stuff. Okay, got C in there, and then I'm going to do the end. Yeah, so we're just typing in the words, and then there's other phases of making sure that you like the way that positions are mentioned or not mentioned, that you're comfortable with that you're helping your dancers, that the language works for you and your dancers. And I always try to dance it. I record myself on my phone and then I dance it to make sure that I haven't missed anything. Sometimes I still make mistakes, but it's got a much better chance. So that is all of it. I did get that broken box. Yep. Okay. Okay, and this is the nice thing that some people do too. The quick cues, which are the head cues. So you could just take this whole thing and copy paste it if you liked the formatting of this. So that's the easy, quick way. But I know that I like mine a little bit different than Chuck does them. So I have chosen to copy paste them because that's the best way for me. All what works for you reading. Okay, so I've got my black and white version here. All of them are in the right order. I've checked the sequence. I no longer need this piece of information, so I like to take it out. And I also like to make this sort of metadata a little bit smaller. So I'm keeping the title big at 20 point and the rest of the body of the dance. And now I'm going to bring this bit down to 16. So I just find that's helpful. Okay. I have started leaving intro A, B, etc. in. because I kind of like that. I find if I've made a mistake when I am writing or transcribing, that is helpful. Or if I've written the dance myself, I actually quite like knowing that it's verse one, verse two. That makes a lot of sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave black and white for everything except for the cues. Okay, so I'm going to make this first section. I'll make it red. I use whatever colors strike my fancy for the song. This is pretty boisterous a song, so red suits it to me. And then I'm going to take the next section and I don't know, I'll make it blue, nice and bright. Picking colors that are pretty foolproof. I'm not picking like a pale yellow or anything. Pink, yes. So I pick 4 colors that I like. I think I'll pick this peachy color too. And then I'm going to start at the next bit for the strolling vine. You pick whatever colors work for you. Maybe you like a black and white cue sheet. That is up to you. You can do it. Okay, great. Pink and peach. And that's pretty good that was a very quick write-up. So now I am ready to save my document. If this had taken you more than 10 minutes, you probably would have saved it already. So I'm coming back up to the top, save, and for my square dance songs, because I've started doing my square dance songs like this because I've gotten very picky and I don't like the editor in SquareView. It doesn't have as much capability. So for square dance songs, I will do the label first, like Rawhide 6002 dash the letter or whatever the song is called. But for the round dance ones, I do the title only. And I'm a librarian, so I don't put in the, because half of the books in a library would be in the T section for the, if we did it that way. So this is my thing. I'm just going to call it Maestro. You could choose to even put like something like dash two-step. It's good to leave a space in between the dash if you're going to do that, just for the searchability later for marrying your cue sheet. But I'm just going to call it Maestro, and it's going to live in my documents. This is my Mac computer if you're thinking it looks different. Save. Okay, and then if I made any changes to here, then I just press save and it's in there. Perfect. So you've made an HTML file. Good job.